Welcome to the Daily Word.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Day's Prayer.
Word of the day.
Verse of the day.
Versikulo.
Reflections. Quote of the day.
Santiago, unang kabanata. Mula kay Santiago, alipin ng Diyos at ng Panginoong Hesukristo. Ipinapaabot ko ang aking pagbati sa mga pinili ng Diyos na nasa iba't ibang bansa. Mga kapatid, mag-alala kayo kapag kayo'y dumaranas ng iba't ibang pagsubok. Dapat ninyong malaman na pinapatatag ng mga pagsubok ang inyong pananampalataya. At dapat kayong magpakatatag hanggang wakas upang kayo'y maging ganap at walang pagkukulang. Ngunit, kung ang sino man sa inyo ay kulang sa karunungan, humingi siya sa Diyos at siya'y bibigyan, sapagkat ang Diyos ay mapagbigay at di nanunumbat. Subalit ang humihingi ay dapat magtiwala at huwag mag-alinlangan, sapagkat ang nag-aalinlangan ay parang alon sa dagat na ikinataboy ng hangin kahit saan. Huwag umasang tatanggap na anuman mula sa Panginoon ang taong pabago-bago ang isip at di alam kung ano talaga ang ibig niya. Dapat magalak ang mahirap na kapatid kapag siya itinataas ng Diyos, at gayon din naman ang mayamang kapatid kapag siya ibinababa, sapagkat ang mayaman ay lilipas na gaya ng bulaklak ng damo. Ang damo ay nalalantang sa matinding sikat ng araw, nalalagas ang kanyang mga bulaklak, at kumukupas ang kanyang ganda. Gayon din naman, ang mayaman ay mamamatay sa gitna ng kanyang mga kaabalahan. Mapalad ang taong nananatiling tapat sa kabila ng mga pagsubok, sapagkat matapos siyang subukin, tatanggap siya ng gantimpala ng buhay na ipinangako ng Panginoon sa mga umiibig sa Kanya. Huwag sabihin ni naman na tinutukso siya ng Diyos kapag siya'y dumaranas ng pagsubok, sapagkat ang Diyos ay hindi maaaring matukso at hindi rin naman nanunuksoan ng sinuman. Natutukso ang tao kapag siya'y naaakit at nagpapatangay sa kanyang sariling nasa. Kapag ang nasa ay tumubo at nagugat sa kanyang puso, magbubunga ito ng pagkakasala. Kapag ang kasalanan ay lumaga, ito ay hahantong sa kamatayan. Huwag kayong padaya, mga kapatid kong minamahal. Ang lahat ng mabuti at ganap na kaloob ay buhat sa langit, mula sa Ama na lumikha ng mga tanglaw sa kalangitan. Hindi siya nagbabago o nagpapakita ng bahagya ng pagbabago. Niloob niyang tayo'y maging anak niya sa pamamagitan ng salita ng katotohanan, upang tayo'y maging pangunahin, higit kaysa lahat ng kanyang mga nilalang. Unawain ninyo ito, mga kapatid kong minamahal. Maging alisto kayo sa pakikinig. Dahan-dahan sa pagsasalita at huwag agad maragalit. Sapagkat ang galit ay hindi nakakatulong upang ang tao ay maging kalugod-lugod sa paningin ng Diyos. Kaya't talikuran na ninyo ang inyong maruruming gawa at alisin ang masasamang asal. At may pagpapakumbabang tanggapin ang salita ng Diyos na itinanim sa inyong puso. Ang salitang ito ang makakapagligtas sa inyo. Mamuhay kayo ayon sa salita ng Diyos. Kung ito'y pinapakinggan lamang ninyo, ngunit hindi sinasagawa, dinadaya ninyo ang inyong sarili. Sapagkat ang nakikinig ng salita, ngunit hindi sumusunod dito ay katulad ng isang taong tumingin sa salamin at pagkatapos din na mabuti ang sarili, ay umalis at kinakalimutan ng kanyang ayos. Ang pagpapalain ng Diyos sa lahat ng kanyang gawain ay ang taong nagsasaliksik at nagpapatuloy sa pagsunod sa utusang ganap na nagpapalaya sa tao. Siya ang taong gumagawa at hindi nakikinig lamang, at pagkatapos ay nakakalimot. Kung inaakala ni naman na siya'y reliyoso, ngunit hindi naman siya marunong magpigil ng dila, dinadaya lamang niya ang kanyang sarili. Walang kabuluhan ng kanyang pagiging reliyoso. Ang pagiging reliyoso na dalisay at walang dungis sa harap ng ating Diyos at Ama ay ang pagtulong sa mga ulila at sa mga biyuda sa kanilang kahirapan, at pag-iingat sa sarili upang huwag mahawa sa kasamaan ng mundong ito. Ikalawang kabanata. Mga kapatid ko, bilang mga mananampalataya kay Hesukristo na ating maluwalhating Panginoon, dapat ay pantay-pantay ang tingin ninyo sa lahat ng tao. Kung may pumasok sa inyong kapulungan na isang lalaking may mga singsing na ginto at nakadamit ng magara, at dumating din doon ang isang mahirap na puro sulsiyang damit, at inasikaso ninyong mabuti ang nakadamit ng magara at sinabi sa kanya, "Dito kayo maupo." At sinabi naman ninyo sa mahirap, "Tumayo ka na lang dyan." O kaya'y, "Sasahig ka na lang umupo." Nagtatani na kayo at humahatol ng mali. Tingnan ninyo, mga kapatid kong minamahal, hindi ba't ang pinili ng Diyos ay ang mga mahihirap sa mundo ito upang maging mayaman sa pananampalataya at maging kasama sa kahariang ipinangako niya sa mga umiibig sa Kanya? Ngunit hinahamak ninyo ang mahihirap. Hindi ba't ang mayayaman ang umaapi sa inyo at sila ang nagsasakdal sa inyo sa hukuman? Hindi ba't sila rin ang lumalait sa marangal na pangalang ibinigay sa inyo ng Diyos? Mabuti ang inyong ginagawa kung tinutupad ninyo ang utos sa kaharian ng Diyos ayon sa kasulatan. Ibigin mo ang iyong kapwa gaya ng iyong sarili. Ngunit kung nagtatani kayo ng tao, kayo'y nagkakasala, at batay sa kautusan, dapat kayong parusahan. Ang lumalabag sa isa, kahit tumupad sa iba pang mga utos, ay lumalabag pa rin sa buong kautusan. Sapagkat ang Diyos na nagsabing, "Huwag kang mangangalunya," ay siya rin nagsabing, "Huwag kang papatay." Kung hindi ka man nangangalunya, ngunit pumapatay ka naman, nilalabag mo na rin ang kautusan. Kaya't mag-ingat kayo sa inyong pagkilos at pananalita, sapagkat hahatulan kayo ayon sa kautusang nagpapalaya sa inyo. Walang habag na hahatulan ng Diyos ang di marunong mahabag. Ngunit ang mahabagin ay walang dapat ikatakot sa oras ng paghatol. Mga kapatid, ano ang mapapala na isang tao kung sabihin man niyang siya'y may pananampalataya, ngunit hindi naman niya ito pinapatunayan sa gawa? May liligtas ba siya ng ganoong uri ng pananampalataya? Halimbawa, may isang kapatid na walang maisuot at walang makain. Kung sasabihin ninyo sa kanya, "Patnubayang kanawa ng Diyos, magbihis ka't magpakabusog," ngunit hindi naman niya siya binibigyan ng kanyang kailangan, may mabuti bang naidudulot sa kanya yon? Gayon din naman, patay ang pananampalatayang walang kalakip na gawa. Ngunit may nagsasabi, "May pananampalataya ka at may gawa naman ako." Ipakita mo sa akin ang iyong pananampalatayang walang kasamang gawa, at ipapakita ko naman sa iyo sa pamamagitan ng aking mga gawa ang aking pananampalataya. Sumasampalataya ka na ang Diyos ay isa, hindi ba? Mabuti yan. Ang mga demonyo man ay sumasampalataya rin at nanginginig pa. Ibig mo pa bang patunayan ko sa iyo, hangal, na walang kabuluhan ang pananampalatayang walang kasamang gawa? Ang ating ninunong si Abraham ay kinalugdan ng Diyos dahil sa kanyang mga gawa, nang ihandog niya sa damba ng anak niyang si Isaac, hindi ba? Dito ay makikita mong magkalakip ang kanyang pananampalataya at mga gawa, at naging ganap ang kanyang pananampalataya dahil sa kanyang mga gawa. Natupad na sinasabi ng kasulatan, si Abraham ay sumampalataya sa Diyos, at dahil dito, siya ay tinanggap na matuwid. at tinawag siyang kaibigan ng Diyos. Diyan ninyo makikita na ibinibilang na matuwid ang isang tao dahil sa kanyang mga gawa at di dahil sa kanyang pananampalataya lamang. Gayon din si Rahab, ang babaeng may maruming pamumuhay. Pinatuloy niya ang mga espiya ng Israel at itinuro pa sa kanila ang ibang daan upang sila'y makatakas. Dahil sa ginawa niya iyon, siya ay tinanggap na matuwid. Patay ang katawang walang espiritu. Gayon din naman, patay ang pananampalatayang walang kasamang gawa. Ikatlong kabanata. Mga kapatid, hindi dapat na maging guro ang marami sa inyo. Yamang alam ninyo na tayo mga nagtuturo ay hahatulan ng mas mahigpit kaysa iba. Tayong lahat ay nagkakamali sa iba't ibang paraan. Ang sino mang hindi nagkakamali sa kanyang pananalita ay isang taong ganap at marunong magpigil sa sarili. Kapag nilagyan ng pakagat ang bibig ng kabayo, ito ay napapasunod natin at napapabaling saan man natin ibigin. Tingnan ninyo ang barko. Kahit na ito ay napakalaki at itinutulak ng malalakas na hangin, ay naibabaling sa pamamagitan ng napakaliit na timon saan man ibigin ng piloto. Ganyan din ang dila ng tao. Maliit na bahagi lamang ng katawan, ngunit napakalaki na nagagawang kayabangan. Isipin na lamang ninyo kung paano napapalagablab na isang maliit na apoy ang isang malawak na habubatan. Ang dila ay parang apoy, isang daigdig ng kasamaang nagpaparumi sa ating buong pagkatao. Ang apoy nito ay mula sa impyerno at sinusunog ang lahat sa buhay ng tao. Lahat ng uri ng ibon at hayop na lumalakad o gumagapang o nakatira sa tubig ay kayang tigilin at talagang napipigil ng tao, ngunit walang nakakapigil sa dila. Ito ay kasamaang hindi mapigil at puno ng kamandag na nakakamatay. Ito ang ginagamit natin sa pagpupuri sa ating Panginoon at Ama. At ito rin ang ginagamit natin sa pagsumpa sa taong nilalang na kalarawan ng Diyos. Sa iisang bibig nang gagaling ang pagpupuri at pagsumpa. Hindi ito dapat mangyari, mga kapatid. Hindi lumalabas sa iisang bukal ang tubig tabang at tubig alat. Mga kapatid, hindi makakapamunga ng olibo ang puno ng igos o ng igos ang puno ng ubas. At ladong hindi rin bumubukal ang tubig tabang sa bukal ng tubig alat. Sino sa inyo ang marunong at nakakaunawa? Ipakita niya ito sa pamamagitan ng wastong pamumuhay na bunga ng kapakumbabaan at karunungan. Ngunit kung ang nagahari sa inyong puso ay inggit at makasariling hangarin, huwag ninyong ipagmalaki at huwag ninyong ikaila ang katotohanan. Ang ganyang karunungan ay hindi galing sa Diyos, kundi makasanlibutan, makalaman at mula sa diablo. Sapagkat saan man nagahari ang inggit at makasariling hangarin, nagahari din doon ang kaguluhan at lahat ng uri ng masamang gawa. Ngunit ang may karunungan mula sa Diyos, una sa lahat, ay malinis ang pamumuhay, may dikin sa kapayapaan, mahinahon, mapagbigay, mahabagin, masipag sa paggawa ng mabuti, hindi
nagtatangi at hindi nagkukunwari. Namumunga ng katwiran ang binhi ng kapayapaang itinatanim ng taong maibigin sa kapayapaan.
Ika-4 na kabanata.
Saan nanggagaling ang inyong mga alitan at pag-aaway? Hindi ba't nagmumula yan sa masasamang nasa na nasa inyong kalooban at naglalaban-laban? Meron kayong minimithi ngunit hindi ninyo makamtan, kaya't papatay kayo kung kailangan, mapa sa inyo lamang yon. May mga bagay na gustong-gusto ninyo, ngunit hindi ninyo maangkin, kaya kayo nagkakagalit at naglalaban-laban. Hindi nyo nakakamtan ang inyong minimithi dahil hindi kayo humingi sa Diyos. At humingi man kayo, wala rin kayo natatanggap
dahil hindi tamang inyong layunin. Humingi kayo upang gamitin sa kalayawan. Mga taksil, hindi ba ninyo alam na kapag nakipagkaibigan kayo sa sandibutan, ay kinakaaway naman ninyo ang Diyos? Ang sino mang nagnanais na maging kaibigan ng sandibutan, ay kaaway ng Diyos. Huwag ninyong akalaing walang kabuluhan ang sinasabi sa kasulatan. Ayaw ng Espiritong ibinigay sa atin ng Diyos na siya'y may kaagaw sa ating pag-ibig. Ngunit higit na malakas ang tulong na ibinigay niya sa atin. Kaya't sinasabi ng kasulatan, ang Diyos ay laban sa mga mapagmataas, ngunit tumutulong sa mga mapagpakumbaba. Kaya nga, pasakop kayo sa Diyos. Labanan ninyo ang diablo at lalayuan niya kayo. Lumapit kayo sa Diyos at lalapit siya sa inyo. Linisin ninyo ang inyong mga kamay, kayong mga makasalanan, Linisin ninyo ang inyong puso, kayong pababo-babong isip. Maghinagpis kayo, umiyak at tumangis. Palitan ninyo ng pagluha ang inyong tawanan at ng kalungkutan ang inyong kakalakan. Magpakababa kayo sa harapan ng Panginoon at itataas niya kayo. Huwag kayong magsiraan sa isa't isa, mga kapatid. Ang namimintas o humahatol sa kanyang kapatid ay namimintas at humahatol sa kautusan. At kung hinahatulan mo ang kautusan, hindi ka na tagasunod ng kautusan, kundi isang hukom. Ang Diyos lamang ang nagbigay ng kautusan, at siya rin ang hukom. Tanging siya ang may kapangyarihang magligtas at magpahamak. Ngunit ikaw, sino ka upang humatol sa iyong kapwa? Makinig kayo sa akin, kayong nagsasabi, ngayon o bukas ay pupunta kami sa ganito at ganoong bayan at 1 taon kaming titigil doon, mangangalakal kami at kikita ng malaki. Ni hindi ninyo alam kung ano mangyayari sa inyo bukas. Ang buhay ninyo ay parang usok lamang. Sandaling bumilitaw at agad nawawala. Sa halip ay sabihin ninyo, kung loloobin ng Panginoon at nabubuhay pa kami, gagawin namin ito o iyon. Ngunit kayo'y nagmamalaki at nagyayabang, at yan ay masama. Ang nakakaalam ng mabuti na dapat niyang gawin, ngunit hindi yung ginagawa, ay nagkakasala. 5 kabanata. Pakinggan ninyo ito, kayong mayayaman. Tumangis kayo at humagulgol dahil sa mga kapighati ang darating sa inyo. Bulok na ang inyong mga kayamanan at kinain na ng mapanilang insekto ang inyong mga damit. Kinakalawang na ang inyong ginto at pilak at ang kalawang din yun ang magiging katibayan laban sa inyo at parang apoy na tutupok sa inyong laman. Iyan ang kayamanang inimpok ninyo para sa mga huling araw. Sumisigaw laban sa inyo ang mga gumapa sa inyong bukirin dahil hindi ninyo ibinigay sa kanila ang kanilang upa. Umabot sa langit, sa pandinig ng Panginoong makapangyarihan sa lahat, ang mga hinaing na mga manggagapa sa inyong inapi. Nagpasasa kayo sa layaw at karangyaan dito sa lupa. Nagpataba kayong para mga hayop na kakatayin. Hinatulan ninyo at ipinapatay ang taong matwid, at hindi siya lumaban sa inyo. Kaya nga't magtiyaga kayo, mga kapatid, hanggang sa pagdating ng Panginoon. Tingnan ninyo ang magsasaka. Buong tiyaga niyang hinihintay ang kapanapan na biglaan ng kanyang bukirin at minamatyaga ng pagpatak na ulan. Dapat din kayong magtiyaga. Tibayan ninyo ang inyong loob sapagkat nalalapit na ang pagdating ng Panginoon. Huwag kayong magsisihan sa isa't isa, mga kapatid, upang hindi kayo matulan ng Diyos sapagkat malapit na ang dumating ang hukom. Mga kapatid, tularan ninyo ang mga propetang nasalita sa ngalan ng Panginoon. Buong tiyaga silang nagtiis ng kahirapan. Sinasabi nating mapalad ang mga nagtitiyaga at nagtitiis. Narinig na ninyo ang tungkol sa pagtitiis ni Job at ang ginawa sa kanya ng Panginoon sa bandang huli. Talagang napakabuti at tunay na mahabagin ng Panginoon. Ngunit higit sa lahat, mga kapatid, huwag na kayo manunumpa. Huwag ninyong sabihin, saksi ko ang langit, o saksi ko ang lupa, o saksi ko ang ano paman. Sapat nang sabihin ninyo, oo, kung oo, at hindi kung hindi, upang hindi kayo hatulan ng Diyos. Nahihirapan ba ang sino man sa inyo? Manalangin siya. Nagagalak ba ang sino man? Umawit siya ng papuri sa Diyos. Mayroon bang may sakit sa inyo? Ipatawag niya ang mga pinuno ng iglesia upang ipanalangin siya at pahiran ng langis sa ngalan ng Panginoon. Pagkagalingin ng Diyos ang may sakit dahil sa panalangin may pananampalataya. Palalakasin siyang muli ng Panginoon at patatawarin ng kanyang mga kasalanan. Kaya nga, ipagtapat ninyo sa inyong mga kapatid ang inyong mga kasalanan at ipanalangin ninyo isa't isa upang kayo'y gumaling. Malaki ang nagagawa ng panalangin ng taong matwid. Si Elias ay taong tulad din natin. Nang mataimtim siyang nanalangin na wag umulan, hindi nga umulan sa loob ng 3 taon at 6 na buwan. At nang siya'y nanalangin para umulan, bumagsak nga ang ulan at namunga ang mga halaman. Mga kapatid, kung may kapatid kayong nalilinis ng landas at may isa namang umakay sa kanya upang magsisi, ito ang tandaan ninyo. Sino mang makapagpapalik sa isang makasalanan tungo sa wastong pamumuhay, The Book of Job. Chapter 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. Also his possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household, so that this man was the greatest of all the people of the East. And his sons would go and feast in their houses, each on his appointed day, and would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. So it was, when the days of feasting had run their course, that Job would send and sanctify them. And he would rise early in the morning, and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus Job did regularly. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now, stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." And the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing, and the donkeys feeding beside them, when the Sabaeans raided them and took them away. Indeed, they have killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven, and burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands, raided the camels and took them away, yes, and killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wind came from across the wilderness, and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead, and I alone have escaped to tell you." Then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head. And he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." In all this, Job did not sin, nor charge God with wrong. Chapter 2. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them, to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth? A blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil. And still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him, to destroy him without cause." So Satan answered the Lord and said, "Skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face." And the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, he is in your hand, but spare his life." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and struck Job with painful boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he took for himself a potsherd with which to scrape himself, while he sat in the midst of the ashes. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God, and shall we not accept adversity?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Now, when Job's 3 friends heard of all this adversity that had come upon him, each one came from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. But they had made an appointment to come and mourn with him, and to comfort him. And when they raised their eyes from afar, and did not recognize him, they lifted their voices and wept. And each one tore his robe, and sprinkled dust on his head toward heaven. So they sat down with him on the ground, 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his grief was very great. Chapter 3. After this, Job opened his mouth, and cursed the day of his birth. And Job spoke and said, "May the day perish on which I was born, and the night in which it was said, a male child is conceived. May that day be darkness. May God above not seek it, nor the light shine upon it. May darkness and the shadow of death claim it. May a cloud settle on it. May the blackness of the day terrify it. As for that night, may darkness seize it. May it not rejoice among the days of the year. May it not come into the number of the months. Oh, may that night be barren. May no joyful shout come into it. May those curse it who curse the day, those who are ready to arouse Leviathan. May the stars of its morning be dark. May it look for light, but have none, and not see the dawning of the day. Because it did not shut up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide sorrow from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth? Why did I not perish when I came from the womb? Why did the knees receive me, or why the breasts, that I should nurse? For now I would have lain still and been quiet. I would have been asleep. Then I would have been at rest with kings and counselors of the earth, who built ruins for themselves, or with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden like a stillborn child, like infants who never saw light? There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary are at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They do not hear the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Why is light given to him who is in misery, and life to the bitter of soul, who long for death, but it does not come, and search for it more than hidden treasures, who rejoice exceedingly, and are glad when they can find the grave? Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden, and whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes before I eat, and my groanings pour out like water. For the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, and what I dreaded has happened to me. I am not at ease, nor am I quiet. I have no rest, for trouble comes. Chapter 4. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If one attempts a word with you, will you become weary? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Surely you have instructed many, and you have strengthened weak hands. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling, and you have strengthened the feeble knees. But now it comes upon you, and you are weary. It touches you, and you are troubled. Is not your reverence your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? Remember now, who ever perished being innocent? Or where were the upright ever cut off? Even as I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his anger they are consumed. The roaring of the lion, the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lions are broken. The old lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. Now a word was secretly brought to me, and my ear received a whisper of it. In disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones shake. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair on my body stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence. Then I heard a voice saying, Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can a man be more pure than his Maker? If he puts no trust in his servants, if he charges his angels with error, how much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed before a moth? They are broken in pieces from morning till evening. They perish forever, with no one regarding. Does not their own excellence go away? They die, even without. Chapter 5. Call out now. Is there anyone who will answer you? And to which of the holy ones will you turn? For wrath kills a foolish man, and envy slays a simple one. I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I cursed his dwelling place. His sons are far from safety. They are crushed in the gate, and there is no deliverer. Because the hungry eat up his harvest, taking it even from the thorns, and a snare snatches their substance. For affliction does not come from the dust, nor does trouble spring from the ground. Yet man is born to trouble, as the sparks fly upward. But as for me, I would seek God, and to God I would commit my cause, who does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. He gives rain on the earth, and sends waters on the fields. He sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He frustrates the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot carry out their plans. He catches the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the cunning comes quickly upon them. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope at noontime as in the night. But he saves the needy from the sword, from the mouth of the mighty, and from their hand. So the poor have hope, and in justice shuts her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom God corrects. Therefore do not despise the chastening of the Almighty. For he bruises, but he binds up. He wounds, but his hands make whole. He shall deliver you in 6 troubles. Yes, in 7 no evil shall touch you. In famine he shall redeem you from death, and in war from the power of the sword. You shall be hidden from the scourge of the tongue, and you shall not be afraid of destruction when it comes. You shall laugh at destruction and famine, and you shall not be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For you shall have a covenant with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. You shall know that your tent is in peace. You shall visit your dwelling and find nothing amiss. You shall also know that your descendants shall be many, and your offspring like the grass of the earth. You shall come to the grave at a full age, as a sheaf of grain ripens in its season. Behold, this we have searched out. It is true. Hear it, and know for yourself. Chapter 6. Then Job answered and said, Oh, that my grief were fully weighed, and my calamity laid with it on the scales. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words have been rash. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks in their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me. Does the wild donkey bray when it has grass? Or does the ox low over its fodder? Can flavorless food be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? My soul refuses to touch them. They are as loathsome food to me. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant me the thing that I long for, that it would please God to crush me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off. Then I would still have comfort. Though in anguish I would exult. He will not spare. For I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh bronze? Is my help not within me, and is success driven from me? To him who is afflicted, kindness should be shown by his friend, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. My brothers have dealt deceitfully like a brook, like the streams of the brooks that pass away, which are dark because of the ice, and into which the snow vanishes. When it is warm, they cease to flow. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. The paths of their way turn aside. They go nowhere and perish. The caravans of Tema look. The travelers of Sheba hope for them. They are disappointed because they were confident. They come there and are confused. For now you are nothing. You see terror and are afraid. Did I ever say, bring something to me? Or offer a bribe for me from your wealth? Or deliver me from the enemy's hand? Or redeem me from the hand of oppressors? Teach me, and I will hold my tongue. Cause me to understand wherein I have erred. How forceful are right words! But what does your arguing prove? Do you intend to rebuke my words, and the speeches of a desperate one which are as wind? Yes, you overwhelm the fatherless, and you undermine your friend. Now therefore, be pleased to look at me, for I would never lie to your face. Yield now, let there be no injustice. Yes, concede, my righteousness still stands. Is there injustice on my tongue? Cannot my taste discern the unsavory. Chapter 7. Is there not a time of hard service for man on earth? Are not his days also like the days of a hired man? Like a servant who earnestly desires the shade, and like a hired man who eagerly looks for his wages, so I have been allotted months of futility, and wearisome nights have been appointed to me. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise, and the night be ended? For I have had my fill of tossing till dawn. My flesh is caked with worms and dust. My skin is cracked and breaks out afresh. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and are spent without hope. Oh, remember that my life is a breath. My eye will never again see good. The eye of him who sees me will see me no more. While your eyes are upon me, I shall no longer be. As the cloud disappears and vanishes away, so he who goes down to the grave does not come up. He shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him any more. Therefore I will not restrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I a sea or a sea serpent that you set a guard over me? When I say, my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, then you scare me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that my soul chooses strangling and death rather than my body. I loathe my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone, for my days are but a breath. What is man, that you should exalt him, that you should set your heart on him, that you should visit him every morning and test him every moment? How long? Will you not look away from me, and let me alone till I swallow my saliva? Have I sinned? What have I done to you, O watcher of men? Why have you set me as your target, so that I am a burden to myself? Why then do you not pardon my transgression, and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down in the dust, and you will seek me diligently, but I will no longer be. Chapter 8. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, How long will you speak these things, and the words of your mouth be like a strong wind? Does God subvert judgment, or does the Almighty pervert justice? If your sons have sinned against him, he has cast them away for their transgression. If you would earnestly seek God, and make your supplication to the Almighty, if you are pure and upright, surely now he would awake for you, and prosper your rightful dwelling place. Though your beginning was small, yet your latter end would increase abundantly. For inquire, please, of the former age, and consider the things discovered by their fathers. For we were born yesterday, and know nothing, because our days on earth are a shadow. Will they not teach you, and tell you, and utter words from their heart? Can the papyrus grow up without a marsh? Can the reeds flourish without water? While it is yet green and not cut down, it withers before any other plant. So are the paths of all who forget God, and the hope of the hypocrite shall perish, whose confidence shall be cut off, and whose trust is a spider's web. He leans on his house, but it does not stand. He holds it fast, but it does not endure. He grows green in the sun, and his branches spread out in his garden. His roots wrap around the rock heap, and look for a place in the stones. If he is destroyed from his place, then it will deny him, saying, I have not seen you. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the earth others will grow. Behold, God will not cast away the blameless, nor will he uphold the evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughing, and your lips with rejoicing. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked will come to nothing. Chapter 9. Then Job answered and said, Truly, I know it is so. But how can a man be righteous before God? If one wished to contend with him, he could not answer him 1 time out of 1,000. God is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who has hardened himself against him and prospered? He removes the mountains, and they do not know when he overturns them in his anger. He shakes the earth out of its place, and its pillars tremble. He commands the sun, and it does not rise. He seals off the stars. He alone spreads out the heavens and treads on the waves of the sea. He made the Bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. He does great things past finding out. Yes, wonders without number. If he goes by me, I do not see him. If he moves past, I do not perceive him. If he takes away, who can hinder him? Who can say to him, What are you doing? God will not withdraw his anger. The allies of the proud lie prostrate beneath him. How then can I answer him, and choose my words to reason with him? For though I were righteous, I could not answer him. I would beg mercy of my judge. If I called, and he answered me, I would not believe that he was listening to my voice. For he crushes me with a tempest, and multiplies my wounds without cause. He will not allow me to catch my breath, but fills me with bitterness. If it is a matter of strength, indeed, he is strong. And if of justice, who will appoint my day in court? Though I were righteous, my own mouth would condemn me. Though I were blameless, it would prove me perverse. I am blameless, yet I do not know myself. I despise my life. It is all one thing. Therefore I say, He destroys the blameless and the wicked. If the scourge slays suddenly, He laughs at the plight of the innocent. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of its judges. If it is not he, who else could it be? Now my days are swifter than a runner. They flee away. They see no good. They pass by like swift ships, like an eagle swooping on its prey. If I say, I will forget my complaint, I will put off my sad face and wear a smile. I am afraid of all my sufferings. I know that you will not hold me innocent. If I am condemned, why then do I labor in vain? If I wash myself with snow water and cleanse my hands with soap, yet you will plunge me into the pit, and my own clothes will abhor me. For he is not a man, as I am, that I may answer him, and that we should go to court together? Nor is there any mediator between us, who may lay his hand on us both. Let him take his rod away from me, and do not let dread of him terrify me. Then I would speak and not fear him, but it is not so with me. Chapter 10. My soul loathes my life. I will give free course to my complaint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, do not condemn me. Show me why you contend with me. Does it seem good to you that you should oppress, that you should despise the work of your hands, and smile on the counsel of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh, or do you see as man sees? Are your days like the days of a mortal man? Are your years like the days of a mighty man, that you should seek for my iniquity and search out my sin? Although you know that I am not wicked, and there is no one who can deliver from your hand, your hands have made me and fashioned me, an intricate unity. Yet you would destroy me. Remember, I pray, that you have made me like clay, and will you turn me into dust again? Did you not pour me out like milk, and curdle me like cheese, clothe me with skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinews? You have granted me life and favor, and your care has preserved my spirit. And these things you have hidden in your heart. I know that this was with you. If I sin, then you mark me, and will not acquit me of my iniquity. If I am wicked, woe to me. Even if I am righteous, I cannot lift up my head. I am full of disgrace. See my misery. If my head is exalted, you hunt me like a fierce lion, and again you show yourself awesome against me. You renew your witnesses against me, and increase your indignation toward me. Changes and war are ever with me. Why then have you brought me out of the womb? Oh, that I had perished, and no eye had seen me. I would have been as though I had not been. I would have been carried from the womb to the grave. Are not my days few? Cease. Leave me alone, that I may take a little comfort, before I go to the place from which I shall not return, to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land as dark as darkness itself, as the shadow of death, without any order, where even the light is like darkness. Chapter 11. Then Zophar the Naamathite answered, and said, Should not the multitude of words be answered? And should a man full of talk be vindicated? Should your empty talk make men hold their peace? And when you mock, should no one rebuke you? For you have said, My doctrine is pure, and I am clean in your eyes. But oh, that God would speak and open his lips against you, that he would show you the secrets of wisdom, for they would double your prudence. Know therefore that God exacts from you less than your iniquity deserves. Can you search out the deep things of God? Can you find out the limits of the Almighty? They are higher than heaven. What can you do? Deeper than Sheol. What can you know? Their measure is longer than the earth, and broader than the sea. If he passes by, imprisons and gathers to judgment, then who can hinder him? For he knows deceitful men. He sees wickedness also. Will he not then consider it? For an empty-headed man will be wise, when a wild donkey's colt is born a man. If you would prepare your heart, and stretch out your hands toward him, if iniquity were in your hand and you put it far away, and would not let wickedness dwell in your tents, then surely you could lift up your face without spot. Yes, you could be steadfast and not fear, because you would forget your misery and remember it as waters that have passed away, and your life would be brighter than noonday. Though you were dark, you would be like the morning, and you would be secure, because there is hope. Yes, you would dig around you and take your rest in safety. You would also lie down, and no one would make you afraid. Yes, many would court your favor. But the eyes of the wicked will fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope. Chapter 12. Then Job answered and said, No doubt You are the people, and wisdom will die with you. But I have understanding as well as you. I am not inferior to you. Indeed, who does not know such things as these? I am one mocked by his friends, who called on God, and he answered him, the just and blameless, who is ridiculed. A lamp is despised in the thought of one who is at ease. It is made ready for those whose feet slip. The tents of robbers prosper, and those who provoke God are secure in what God provides by his hand. But now ask the beasts, and they will teach you, and the birds of the air, and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, and the fish of the sea will explain to you. Who among all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In whose hand is the life of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind? Does not the ear test words, and the mouth taste its food? Wisdom is with aged men, and with length of days, understanding. With him are wisdom and strength. He has counsel and understanding. If he breaks a thing down, it cannot be rebuilt. If he imprisons a man, there can be no release. If he withholds the waters, they dry up. If he sends them out, they overwhelm the earth. With him are strength and prudence. The deceit and the deceiver are his. He leads counselors away blindly, and makes fools of the judges. He loosens the bonds of kings, and binds their waist with a belt. He leads princes away plundered, and overthrows the mighty. He deprives the trusted ones of speech, and takes away the discernment of the elders. He pours contempt on princes, and disarms the mighty. He uncovers deep things out of darkness, and brings the shadow of death to light. He makes nations great, and destroys them. He enlarges nations, and guides them. He takes away the understanding of the chiefs of the people of the earth, and makes them wander in a pathless wilderness. They grope in the dark without light, and he makes them stagger like a drunken man. Chapter 13. Behold, my eye has seen all this, my ear has heard and understood it. What you know, I also know. I am not inferior to you. But I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to reason with God. But you forgers of lies, you are all worthless physicians. Oh, that you would be silent, and it would be your wisdom. Now hear my reasoning, and heed the pleading of my lips. Will you speak wickedly for God, and talk deceitfully for him? Will you show partiality for him? Will you contend for God? Will it be well when he searches you out? Or can you mock him as one mocks a man? He will surely rebuke you, if you secretly show partiality. Will not his excellence make you afraid, and the dread of him fall upon you? Your platitudes are proverbs of ashes. Your defenses are defenses of clay. Hold your peace with me, and let me speak. Then let come on me what may. Why do I take my flesh in my teeth, and put my life in my hands? Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Even so, I will defend my own ways before him. He also shall be my salvation, for a hypocrite could not come before him. Listen carefully to my speech, and to my declaration with your ears. See now, I have prepared my case. I know that I shall be vindicated. Who is he who will contend with me? If now I hold my tongue, perish. Only two things do not do to me. Then I will not hide myself from you. transgression and my sin? Why do you hide your face and regard me as your enemy? Will you frighten me to and fro? And will you pursue dry stubble? Or you write bitter things against me, and make me inherit the iniquities of my youth? You put my feet in the stocks, and watch closely all my paths. You set a limit for the soles of my feet. Man decays like a rotten thing, like a garment that is moth-eaten. Chapter 14. Man who is born of woman is of few days and full of trouble. He comes forth like a flower and fades away. He flees like a shadow and does not continue. And do you open your eyes on such a one, and bring me to judgment with yourself? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? No one. Since his days are determined, the number of his months is with you. You have appointed his limits so that he cannot pass. Look away from him, he may rest, till like a hired man he finishes his day. For there is hope for a tree, if it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its tender shoots will not cease. Though its root may grow old in the earth, and its stump may die in the ground, yet at the scent of water it will bud, and bring forth branches like a plant. But man dies and is laid away. Indeed, he breathes his last, and where is he? As water disappears from the sea, and a river becomes parched and dries up, so man lies down and does not rise, till the heavens are no more. They will not awake, nor be roused from their sleep. Oh, that you would hide me in the grave, that you would conceal me until your wrath is past, that you would appoint me for a set time, and remember me. If a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my hard service I will wait till my change comes. You shall call, and I will answer. You shall desire the work of your hands. For now you number my steps, but do not watch over my sin. My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and you cover my iniquity. But as a mountain falls and crumbles away, and as a rock is moved from its place, as water wears away stones, and as torrents wash away the soil of the earth, so you destroy the hope of man. You prevail forever against him, and he passes on. You change his countenance, and send him away. His sons come to honor, and he does not know it. They are brought low, and he does not perceive it. But his flesh will be in pain over it, and his soul will mourn over it. Chapter 15. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, should a wise man answer with empty knowledge, and fill himself with the east wind? Could he reason with unprofitable talk, or by speeches with which he can do no good? Yes, you cast off fear, and restrain prayer before God. For your iniquity teaches your mouth, and you choose the tongue of the crafty. Your own mouth condemns you, and not I. Yes, your own lips testify against you. Are you the first man who was born? Or were you made before the hills? Have you heard the counsel of God? Do you limit wisdom to yourself? What do you know that we do not know? What do you understand that is not in us? Both the gray-haired and the aged are among us, much older than your father. Are the consolations of God too small for you, and the words spoken gently with you? Why does your heart carry you away? And what do your eyes wink at? That you turn your spirit against God, and let such words go out of your mouth? What is man, that he could be cured? And he who the heavens are not pure in his sight, how much less man, who is abominable and filthy, who drinks iniquity like water. I will tell you, hear me. What I have seen I will declare, what wise men have told, not hiding anything received from their fathers, to whom alone the land was given, and no alien passed among them. The wicked man rides with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden from the oppressor. Dreadful sounds are in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer comes upon him. He does not believe that he will return from darkness, for a sword is waiting for him. He wanders about for bread, saying, where is it? He knows that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. Trouble and anguish make him afraid. They overpower him, like a king ready for battle. He stretches out his hand against God, and acts defiantly against the Almighty, running stubbornly against him with his strong embossed shield. Though he has covered his face with his fatness, and made his waist heavy with fat, cities, in houses which no one inhabits, which are destined to become ruins. He will not be rich, nor will his wealth continue, nor will his possessions overspread the earth. He will not depart from darkness. The flame will dry out his branches,